Hi, welcome back to Objective Reality Games Podcast. I'm Colin.
And I'm Malachi, and today we're joined by our special guest, Sara.
Hello.
And we're going to start off the podcast like we normally do by talking about a little bit of gaming news. We got Colin, our man on the scene here. Colin, what's up?
All right, so Objective Reality Studios is making its first VR game. It's called Deed of Deception, and in Deed of Deception, you are brought to this manor because you're told that a dead relative is leaving the inheritance to whoever can find the deed. So you go in there, and it starts out cooperatively, and you're trying to search this mansion, trying to find the deed. You're solving some little puzzles in different rooms of the house, and then at some point, somebody's going to find the deed to the house, and you're going to find out at that point that there is no inheritance, there's no fortune to be won, the house is haunted, and whoever found the deed is now possessed by the house, and their goal becomes to trap everybody else in the house, and there's multiple different ways that they're going to do it. There's about 15 different haunts right now. But as we keep developing, we're going to make more and more. We're looking to be at about 35 total haunts by the time it's in full release. But it's on Steam right now. You can check it out. You can pre-order it. And the first 100 people that get on there and sign up are able to beta test for us. So jump over there and get in on that beta test if you've got a VR headset at the house and help us get this game out there to the public.
All right, thank you for your gaming news, Colin. I'm pretty excited for that game, honestly. It sounds really fun.
It's been like 8 months in the works, so we're excited. We can't wait to get people trying it and just see what people think about it.
Yeah. And that's going to be out on VR soon, hopefully.
It's a VR only game, so you can't play it on console. You can't play it. I mean, you can play it on PSVR if you obviously VR, but it's only in VR. So, but we're working to make it so it works on Oculus, it works on Valve, it works on Steam, it works on PSVR. Right now, it's only on Steam, but we're working those other channels right now too. So.
Yeah, so you guys heard them. You only got 15 spots to get in on that beta test.
That's gonna
be some good stuff. Be the first ones. So speaking of VR games, we're gonna do the next segment and talk about just random VR game that we've had on our mind. And this is your favorite game, right, Colin? One of your favorite games. So I'll let you talk about it first. Lead us off here.
Yeah, this is an arcade favorite here at Objective Reality. We love Elven Assassin. I think, matter of fact, that was one of the first games that Sara and I played in VR, well, with the exception of Beat Saber. And I can remember one time back in early 2019 when we started the business, getting in the headset and realizing 4 hours later that we've been playing Elven Assassin for 4 hours straight. So yeah. It's a cool game, a really cool game. It's like tower defense pretty much is what the game is. It's a tower defense game, but it's up to 4 player. Yeah, it's a workout.
I'm surprised you're able to play that game for 4 hours.
Listen, we got really enveloped in that game when we started playing because it's just, well, for starters, it was one of the first VR games we played, but on top of that, it was just a ton of fun, like getting down like the mechanisms and like actually hitting your targets. Once I was actually hitting targets, that was like super exciting because it took me an hour at least just to be able to get my aim right because it was just so different. But it was a ton of fun, and every time I play that game, my legs hurt the next day.
Your legs hurt?
Because you have to duck when
that's fair.
The ogre guy goes to either punch you in the face, or when they're throwing the axes at you, you have to dodge out of the way, and it pretty much just means that you're ducking. So it's basically just doing squats. So if you play for 4 hours and you're just doing a bunch of squats.
I remember when I played it, my arm got tired because you're pulling back the bow to shoot at the orcs that are coming to knock your castle down. And you just keep doing that for waves and waves. Eventually my arm got sore. Yeah. And that was after an hour. I'd be surprised if I made it 4 hours playing that game.
My arms got pretty acclimated pretty quick. Don't get me wrong, my shoulders were sore the next day too, but I was mostly concerned about my legs because they killed me the next day.
You got to use them spells. That's how you kill them all. Use the ice spell. This ice spell's good. Fire spell. most people don't even know that you have spells.
I was gonna say we didn't know that for like the first 20 times that we played, and we never used them. So that was
The
good
spells
practice.
are pretty cool, honestly.
Oh, they are. It's just I didn't know what they were or how to use them, so we just did it, with just the bows and arrows.
Right?
Now I have a killer strategy though, because I'll wait, like once one wave is dead, what I'll do is in between waves, I'll put my bow up in the air, and I'll just shoot like 100 arrows up in the air, so they come raining down, and by the time they like make their trajectory back down, the new wave is coming in, and they get pelted by all my arrows that I shot up in the sky.
Right, but I don't remember I've actually seen that.
Yeah, I don't know if it
work.
actually works, but it's still pretty sweet.
I just remember you doing that, and then your arm was super tired, and then when they actually came and you were supposed to be shooting them, you couldn't because you had just exhausted your arm from pulling it 1,000 times.
But if somebody can make that work, it'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I can't. I haven't figured it out yet, but...
Well, I remember whenever the boss ogre shows up, the giant guy, you kind of gotta just machine gun fire arrows at him.
True.
That's super fun.
If you can get headshots, then, you don't have to, hit them as many times, but
Right.
still,
Spell
you have to hit
shots.
them a lot.
Like, the game's fun, but I just remember it being super hard.
It is.
It's difficult, but that's part of what makes it fun, is, once you start getting... Because, if you can make it to wave 30... That is a huge accomplishment.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that would be where your machine gun firing the arrows would probably work, because there's so many that come at you by the time you get to 30 that anywhere you shoot an arrow, you're probably going to hit somebody.
Well, that's why we
Yeah.
like it in the arcade, because we can do weekly challenges and make the challenge get to wave 25, and then people, it's a game that you can struggle. So like Super Hot, for instance, we don't do challenges with Super Hot because it doesn't really get that hard, and if you've played it enough, you can just keep going and going and going. But with Elven Assassin, I don't think anybody could just keep going on that game forever.
Nah.
I think it gets to a point where you just can't.
You just can't win anymore.
And for those of you who don't really know much about Elven Assassin, it's like tower defense. So except you're the tower. So say in Balloons Tower Defense, you put down your monkey guy and he's defending the balloons. Instead, it's you're the monkey, you're shooting. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool, and there's a bunch of little spots you're able to shoot your arrow to teleport to different vantage points to attack from. It's a tower defense, but you're the tower. So that's a pretty cool idea, I thought.
Yeah, right now I think there's only 4 co-op maps, which I would like to see more, but I don't know if they're even still working on the game. I think they're done with it. But the maps are still good. There's one map that only has 4 towers in it, and then some of the maps have different one of them has a catapult that you can shoot, which is pretty cool, and then I think that same map has a cannon that you can blast them with. So
Yeah.
and then there's PvP. The PvP is super fun.
I'm surprised you think that, considering you can't beat me.
I never win, but
I haven't even gotten into the PvP, but it does seem like it'd be pretty cool. It's like Sniper Duel, wouldn't it be?
yeah, I still try my strategy of just blasting a bunch of arrows up in the air, but it doesn't seem
The
to work.
difference, well, for you that would probably work, it does work sometimes in PvP, just because you're pretty much stationary for the most part. You can move between a couple different towers, but there's only so many places that you can go. So, occasionally he gets me that way, but it's not an effective strategy. It's just PvP is a really good way to really work on your aim, because you only have if you're playing a 2-player PvP, you only have one other target. You have one target, and you have to be able to find them quickly and then correctly shoot them. Because you can still move around and dodge a little bit.
Well, you can play with more than one player, right? You can
No,
have
you
4.
can. You can have 4. We always played 2-player. But,
Right.
you can have up to 4 people in the PvP. But, when you're playing 2-player PvP, you do only have one target, so it really helps nail down your accuracy.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the way to play Elven Assassin in both modes. Co-op is a lot more fun than solo. I remember we were when we were playing co-op in the arcade, we were yelling at each other, telling each other where things are coming from. It's pretty fun teamwork game, I think.
Co-op, and that's the only reason I ever like playing VR, is playing with other people. I don't ever get in there and play solo games, really.
There's a lot of good solo games, and you could play Elven Assassin solo, but I don't think it'd have the same, magic or pizzazz to it as playing it
It wouldn't be
cooperatively.
nearly as fun by yourself.
It'd also be so much harder.
True.
One thing I do like about the multiplayer on Elven Assassin also is that they host they host your online game on their server so that other people can join in and back out and join in. So, like, for instance, on Arizona Sunshine, if you make a game, you have to have everybody that wants to play it join in at the beginning of the game. And then if somebody gets booted or quits or something, like, your game just either ends or they're gone and nobody else can join.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
But with Elven Assassin, because they host it on their server and it just runs through their cloud, people can join in and jump out and join. And you could even leave, change some settings, and jump back in, which
as long as somebody is in the game, it will continue.
Which I appreciate that.
That is pretty helpful, actually. Now I think about it, those guys made a new game, didn't they?
Yeah, we just added it. I haven't played it yet.
I haven't either, but, like, I'm fine with, like, just quickly glossing over it because it's pretty cool. It's called Private Property, and it's just like Elven Assassin. That's still tower defense, and you can still, I'm pretty sure you can even still change towers, but it's in the Western times, and it's zombies.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, so you get, like, dual revolvers, shotguns, rifles, and there was even a Western grenade launcher.
Yeah, and they throw stuff at you too. Like, I saw him shoot something out of the sky.
Dynamite. The zombies throw dynamite.
Zombies throw dynamite.
Like,
We'll
I'm
have to play that
excited.
later.
I'm excited to play that game. We
It's
should definitely
downloading
do
right
that.
now, or it's done downloading, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to play that game. That game seems pretty cool. Like, the thing I'd be most excited about is an Elven Assassin. I'm terrible at aiming the bow for the most part, but I could probably do the gun a little easier, and I bet some people would have an easier time with that too. Like, the only thing I'm wondering is if they're gonna have obviously they wouldn't have spells in that game, so I guess the way they're changing it up is they have different guns. You could probably change your guns in the middle of it. So it makes me wonder what's going to be in it. I assume it'll be like unlimited ammo. You'll probably have to reload though, but it looks pretty freaking sweet.
I will say I don't know this. Sorry, I don't know the name of the studio behind Elven Assassin, but sorry, but they have really good graphics in their games.
Yeah.
That's one thing I can say of the VR stuff that we've got. Their graphics are usually one of the better ones.
Yeah. The only thing I say was weird about their models was that whenever, like, their animations, like, whenever they're running and they're about to throw their axe, sometime their body will just go stiff and, like, they'll swing the axe and then walk a little more.
Yeah.
Like, the throwing axe animation's weird.
Well,
Also when they die. Like,
when
they just,
die.
like... They stay in whatever position they were in, they just fall to the ground. And, like, they're in the same position when they hit the ground. And then they just lay there, and then they disappear.
It is an early VR game, isn't it?
And now that you mention it, the running is kind of silly, too, because they're running it. But the scenery is really nice.
I could agree to that. I mean, in fairness, I think that was one of the earlier games in VR. Wasn't
It's been out for a while, yeah.
I bet Private Property is probably going to look a lot better. I'm pretty excited to play it. So with VR out of the way, you guys have any video games on your mind? Some console games?
Well, Sara here has been killing it with the Animal Crossing here lately.
Animal Crossing New Horizon. You have to be very specific because there's 5 different ones.
Is there really? I only knew of the GameCube
editions.
one.
Yeah, they've been out since... It has been since the GameCube, right?
Yeah, the first one was on GameCube. I remember that.
There was one on the Wii. There's one on the DS, Switch, and there was another one, but I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, I just, we were talking about this earlier, and I looked it up, and there were 5 different editions. I'd never played it until this one, until New Horizons, because we just got the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, and I love that game. I have spent way too much time playing it. It's a little ridiculous, but I'm very happy with my world. It's an open world. The thing I appreciate about it is, with storyline-based games, those are fine. But, I like things like Sims and stuff, where it's, very just open to what you want to do, what you want to focus on. And so, yes, there are objectives and things that you do to, progress your island forward. But, generally, you can do whatever you want. If you want to go fishing, you go fishing. If you want to work on your house, you can work on your house. Or, collecting things for your museum. But like the more you do, it contributes toward your island becoming essentially what your goal is to have it become a 5-star island, which right now mine's still at 1, even with my ridiculous amount of time that I have spent on it. But it's a ton of fun.
And for those of you who haven't played Animal Crossing, it's a sort of it's a game where it's not like your average game where you're doing all this crazy stuff. It's just a chill game. You go, you fish, you collect plants, you shake down trees. You're just getting like money together, and you got your own house. You can customize it. It's like a lifestyle game, pretty much.
Yeah, the game starts. You're just on a deserted island, and you have a tent, and then you have two other animals that are going to inhabit this island with you that also have tents, and then you progress forward and eventually build a house. So you're just trying to take your deserted island and then turn it into a thriving island home for you and other people, because eventually they want you to start recruiting people to your island, which is one of the things I'm working on right now.
Yeah,
it's like Sim City, cute and fun, like light version of Sim City, right? Basically.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good description of it, honestly.
Yeah,
honestly, you're not
SimCity.
You're not controlling the other people in the town. You're just controlling yourself, but you're able to control who's in there and where your stuff is placed and all that. So it's kind of like that. I can see that.
Yeah, but it is really cool though. Like, so you really are in control of the whole island, even though there's like other animals and stuff living on it. Like I forget what they call you. But basically, you're in charge of like helping with the island, and you can like replace like stuff. If you want to put up a lamppost in the town square, you put up a lamppost. If you don't like it, you move it. Like, you're in control of those minor details. So
you almost hit me right in the face.
You're welcome.
You were like, you can put a lamppost.
I can't help that I gesture when I talk.
It's fair.
But anyway, you can customize the island to be exactly what you want it to be, basically.
Yeah, I don't know anything really about it. I played the first one on GameCube, so I know what Animal Crossing is, but I don't know. I'm more into the other sim builders like that Anno 1800, Anno 2077 are the ones I'm playing right now, but.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I played Animal Crossing New Leaf, but I'm more into like. It's like it's Stardew Valley. It's more into like the resource-based making money type over the town decorating and stuff. But I still really liked playing New Leaf. I tried New Horizons and I was able to get into it a little bit, but it didn't hook me as much, probably because I wasn't a fan of having to collect a ton of materials to craft items. I can understand that would be fun for a lot of people, but it wasn't my cup of tea for that.
Hey, there's an economy in New Horizons, though. It's the turnip trade.
Yeah.
There's a whole.
Oh yeah, for real. I mean, like.
It's like a stock market for
I have
turnips.
like $8 million in my savings, or 8 million bells. I'm sorry, they're called bells in my little savings account on Animal Crossing from just trading turnips. Now, like that kind of leads into like my one complaint, I guess. I don't want to call it a complaint because I love the game, but the thing that I don't like, but that also makes it kind of cool, is that it works on real time. So like if you're playing the game at 4 a.m, it's going to be dark on the island and everything's going to be closed. But if you're playing it at 3 p.m, it's going to be bright and sunny and you're going to be able to go in wherever you want to. But that can be kind of a double-edged sword, because if you have like a set schedule where you can only play during one time of the day, and that time of the day happens to be when everything's closed, then you have to like change the time settings on your actual console just to be able to play during the daytime on the game.
Yeah, I had to do that when I was playing through New Leaf, and that was pretty annoying.
It gets a little tedious. But
I like the idea. That's why I liked what Stardew Valley did. Like, it's not real time. It's the game's time, but it has a calendar. Mm-hmm. So the seasons will change. And the crazy thing about the seasons is you plant certain crops in different seasons. So you have to work around the seasons. Like, if you start planting crops that'll only grow in the spring and there's only 3 days left, they won't grow in time, they just die, and then you wasted your money. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought that was pretty cool. I like Animal Crossing, but I also have that issue too, because I remember when I was working a lot, Like, and I didn't have many days off, and I was just there at work till 10. Then I wasn't able to play until 10, and all the shops were closed, so I just had to keep moving the time around.
Yeah, it does. It gets a little annoying. But it is, like, the time, the way that they do things in the game, like, it does allow you to do what I do with the turnip market thing, which is basically, so you can only buy turnips on Sunday in between the hours of, oh my gosh, I can't remember the time frame. It's from like 6 in the morning until noon is the only time that you can buy these turnips. And then you can't sell them on Sundays. So you have to, like, you can, like, change your days on your console to, like, be able to buy them on Sunday. And then you have to, like, alter the time or something. I can't remember because I haven't done it in, like, a month. But then you have to, like, change your day to where you can go and sell them. Or there's actually a trade market, which is, like, an online thing. It's actually a website that you log into and people open up their islands. And then their store will be buying turnips for 600 bells a piece, and you buy them at like 99, so you're making millions of dollars on these turnip sales. And that's how you can, like, kind of break the system and make a ridiculous amount of money. But it takes a lot of patience because you have to wait in a queue because they only let so many people on their island at a time. So then, like, you have to wait 20 minutes to be able to get on this person's island just to sell your turnips. And then it's complicated.
It's
but
dedication.
It's a lot of dedication.
Yeah.
For
that
your
was
millions.
I'm pretty sure that was a thing in New Leaf too, but I never used it. I remember most of my time in New Leaf was spent, like, just trying to get as much money as possible, upgrade my house, get decorations, go to different islands so I could harvest, like, foreign fruits that I could sell for more bells than the fruits that grew on the island. And, like, the cool thing that I really liked in New Leaf was that you were the mayor. So you got to decide where to build projects. So it's like New Horizons, where you're building stuff. You don't get to put anything out or anything and move furniture around that's outside, but you can decide who leaves, who stays, where this new place is going, how when shops get to come in. Like, you unlock more and more shops as you make building projects, is what they're called. And I thought that was pretty fun. Like, you can even make a town jingle, so whenever people talk to you, they sing it before they talk. And, like, you can have a town flag that you get to make. It's pretty sweet, actually.
They have that in New Horizons too. You have, like, the island song and the island flag, and they don't sing the song before they talk to you, but it plays on, like, the stereos in the shops and stuff. But it's just you still get to control where stuff goes. Like, anytime if a new person's gonna move to the island, you choose where their house goes. If the shops are going in, you choose where they go. Same with the museum.
There's a museum in every one of them in there.
There is.
It's a main component.
Well, because that was in the very first game that I played.
Yeah, you gotta dust off your fossils and all that. Mm-hmm. It started off, I know in, like, Horizons, it just starts off as a tent and you upgrade it and stuff. That was one of the things I didn't like about Horizons, because when it's in tent mode, you can only submit one fossil at a time, which is annoying, because in New Leaf, I would just collect a whole inventory of fossils and give them all at once, because that was just the easy way to do it.
I didn't encounter that problem because I didn't even really have the museum until I had already upgraded my house. So
yeah, I kind of, when I first started playing it, it was like my second playthrough because I had already played it once, and I, like, was working on everything at once. Like, I had my house upgraded, and then the museum was ready to upgrade, but I had to wait a day for them to both upgrade. Yeah. That's the other thing I don't like about the time skip. People, like, say, oh, you shouldn't skip around time. It defeats the purpose of the game. But it's just like, yeah, I don't want to wait. I just want to play the game.
Like, I just worked forever to get my museum upgraded. I don't want to have to wait till tomorrow to see it.
Who's got time for that? That's my problem with sim builders. Like, the Anno game that I'm playing now, I don't have time to sit there and wait for my money to build up so I can build something else. Like, I'm ready. I want to do it now.
Yeah, honestly, with the whole, having to be based off of real-time thing, I think that's kind of why I ended up turning away from Animal Crossing in the end. I mean, I still like it. It just was a thing that annoyed me and doesn't, keep me playing it all the time. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I still love the game. Like I said, I haven't played it in, like, a month, though. And I don't really know why I stopped playing necessarily. When I do play, I play for a long time. So it takes up a lot of my time, and I kind of had to stop because I wasn't being very productive.
Animal Crossing addiction.
A little bit, yeah.
That's fair.
I agree. So, Our last topic for today is board game related and just happens to be one of my favorites, Terraforming Mars.
I love that game.
We have played a lot of hours of Terraforming Mars, with the expansion or without. Preferably, I like the core game. I think when you add those expansions, it gets a little complicated because they try to at least with the political expansion. I forget what it's called, but they make it a lot more like Twilight Imperium, which.
That's a complicated game.
Yeah, it's very complicated and a long game. So I mean, Terraforming Mars can last two to 3 hours. You add in the political part of it, and you're pushing like 5 hours. But
yeah, I mean, I've only played the core game. I don't know anything about the political expansion, but I know for a fact that the core game is awesome. I like playing it a lot.
It is a great game.
Like the thing I like about it is like, sure, it's a competitive game. But you can't like super mess with each other. So it's just you're able to do your own thing while trying to do better than others. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's an engine builder, and you want to build the best engine. Mm-hmm. And it's not like somebody else is going to come in and blow up your engine. Like the worst they can do is mostly take your plants. Like at most you can take somebody's plants.
You can steal energy from people. You can steal resources.
But if you do, it's such a small amount that it's basically negligible. But it's basically just like competing with yourself to make the best engine, which is why I love the game. Like, because it is very skill-based.
Oh, yeah. And I like it a lot, like, just getting to build things and get things working. And, like, you don't have to worry about anyone else messing it up. You can just build it up on your own and see what you got at the end. I mean, even when I lose that game, I don't mind because I'm like, look at how far I've come. Look at what I've done.
Yeah. I don't typically win Terraforming Mars, but I still have fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, I like that there's quite a bit to it as well. Like, all the different building combinations, and you gotta, like, take awards at certain spots to get more points and all that good stuff. Because I remember, like, if I didn't focus on a certain point, I lose. Like, you kind of gotta manage it correctly.
That's where I always lose because I don't go after those achievements or, like, the, what's it called, the awards.
Yeah, the cities are big too.
Yeah, if I don't go for those, I know that I'm not gonna win the game, pretty much.
Well, it's not foolproof that if you don't get them, you're not gonna win. But they're worth a lot of points. So if you don't, then it significantly reduces your odds of winning.
My favorite strategy is getting the corporation. So I guess back up and just kind of explain how it works. Like you pick your corporation at the very beginning. And then there's these project cards and these technologies that you get, and you have to spend resources to either create the project or learn the technology, and they benefit you and like help build your engine. But so my favorite strategy is to get the one that does plants, like makes forests and stuff, that gets like the benefits for forests, and just pump out those forests. One, because there's pretty much an unlimited number of forests, and as long as you put your cities in the right place, you can just place all these forests around it, and you get extra points for each forest touching your city, and you can just run away with it.
Yeah, I think my personal favorite corporation is the one that starts with like $60, like a ton of money at the very beginning, because then you can pretty much go off and do whatever you want at the start, and you get a much better start than most people. And like you can really run away with that too, because you can get your money production like way up with that kind of money at the start. I think that's pretty fun.
Yeah, but like with the money, I just end up spending it all, and then it doesn't.
But that's the point. You spend your money on the cards, and the cards help progress your engine, and then that helps your game.
Okay, if you're good at the strategy,
you gotta spend your money to get more money. Build money on money.
Yeah.
Takes money to make money. That's what Sara says.
Yeah, pretty much.
The weird thing is I just don't have much to say about the game. I just know that I love it. You know what I mean? It's just kind of one of those feelings. I just like building up a thing, and it doesn't matter whether I win or lose. I just like building up my little corporation and doing it.
Well, so for Terraforming Mars, what I like too is it's replayable. It's the same game every time, but it's replayable because every corporation you pick has a different strategy to win. Like you can't use the same strategy that you use when you're building forests with the forest corporation that you would use with the mining corporation or whatever. Like, it's a different play. You get a different gameplay depending on which corporation you pick.
Well, even aside from that, there's over 200 action cards that you can get, and like, so you get different cards every time, which changes how your game plays out. And
Yeah, like if you have different cards at the start, you might change up your strategy based off of that, and it can change up all kinds, you know?
I mean, there's been plenty of times where I'm like, I'm playing this corporation, I need to get they're called Jovian tags, and I'm sitting there waiting for them, and they don't come out. Like, I don't see them. And then other times I'll play, and I don't care about it, and then I have a handful of them. Like, you're right.
Yeah. But all in all, 10 out of 10 game. I think it's probably close to one of my favorite games, board games at least.
yeah, I have no complaints about. Like, there's very few board games that I can honestly say that I have like no complaints about. Because, I mean, with every game, there's something that I think could be better or different or that just generally doesn't fit my taste. But, like, I have no complaints about Terraforming Mars.
I mean, just to show how big the game is, when we went to Origins 2019, which was the last time that you could go to Origins since they canceled it last year, but they had, 4 or 5 different booths that were just dedicated to Terraforming Mars. Like, add-ons for it, overlays for the board, boxes for your pieces. Like, that game was huge. It was everywhere at Origins, and which says a lot because there was like 500 board games being demoed at Origins, but you just kept seeing Terraforming Mars everywhere.
I mean, it makes sense. I think Sarah's right. It really is like one of those games that's almost flawless because, like, I can think of almost every single board game I played. There's probably like one tiny thing that I don't like about it, but I can't even think about it for that game. Like, I mean, it's not like if you get bad cards, you're stuck with them. Like, you get to draw 10 cards and pick the best out of them and spend your money on them whenever you draw. Like, it's pretty much built in a way where it's pretty much perfect in all ways almost.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet if someone looked hard enough, they could find something to get a complaint about, but I can't really think of anything myself.
The point is, you'd have to be searching.
Exactly.
You'd have to be trying to find something wrong with it, because if you're just playing it, like, there's nothing to complain about.
I will say a complaint for me is we tried to play it over Zoom during quarantine, and you have to, like, so in order to make sure everybody gets the same card, we had to organize all 200 of those project cards in order so that
220, I think.
220, and that took forever. Because, like, each card has a number at the bottom of it, and like I said, so that we were synchronized with the guy we were playing with over Zoom, we had to just stack them up in that numerical order so that we all got the same cards, and that was tough.
Yeah, I feel like that's a special
so it's not
scenario.
Zoom call friendly. I don't know that really counts as a complaint, because that is not the intention of a board game. It's to be played over a video call.
Yeah. I mean, we play Catan over Zoom pretty easily, but it's not...
I mean, I don't think when these games were made, they expected us to be playing over Zoom calls. It's not really the spirit of board games.
Right, yeah.
But yeah.
Although to tie it into VR, there's Tabletop Simulator, and you can play...
Is that VR?
Yeah.
I love that game, actually.
Yeah. I haven't played much of it, but you can play Tabletop Simulator in VR.
You can play just about anything on that game. They even have, like, games that aren't even made. People just make board games on there, and you can play them. Like, the way I found out about Binding of Isaac 4 Souls was through that. Like, I didn't even know a game like that existed. Like, it's freaking sweet, actually. That's something we should talk about in the future. Tabletop Simulator. Yeah. I love that game. And, like, there's a lot more to it than just board games. It's actually sweet.
Well, I was wanting to play that Sith. I mean, getting off topic, but I was wanting to play Sith or Scythe or however you say it.
Oh, yeah, it's Scythe, I think.
And it's on Tabletop Simulator.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to have to try that sometime. I bet it'd be fun.
Yeah. So Terraforming Mars.
Good game.
Good game.
Good game.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, listening, whatever it's called.
Listening.
Using those ear holes. And we'll be back at it next week.
But goodbye.
Adios.
So I just want to start this podcast by saying you don't pour coffee down a water fountain.
And I would like to start this podcast by saying that Colin is an imbecile who left his thing of coffee to me, who he knew wouldn't drink it, in front of his laptop, and it was teetering, so I was trying to get rid of it so it didn't ruin your laptop.
That's fair.
So you're welcome.
So welcome to the...
welcome to Objective Reality Games Podcast. No. In 3.